Hi everyone, and welcome back to Laura Larsen Organizing, your channel to get organized for fulfilled and productive life at home and at work. Today I'm going to give you 5 tips how you can finally stay organized at home in common spaces that you share with your loved ones so that you can all feel happy at home. And the idea for this topic actually came from a lot of questions from you here on YouTube and on Instagram, and also it's a question that I receive from a lot of clients. And it is, I am organized, but my husband is an absolute disaster. Or me and my partner, we are actually pretty neat and tidy, but suddenly we have kids and now everything's just a mess. Or the areas in the home that I own, they are pretty organized, but it's just the common space that I share with everyone, which just gives me such a headache. And I hear you, because this was a big problem also in my life for a really long time. I always was really organized as a kid, but I soon realized that my family has different standards and also different priorities to the topic of organizing. And also later, when I moved together with my husband, I sometimes totally freaked out when I found his clutter that he piled up doing next to his night desk or on his work desk, which also used to be our dining table. You know, common area, common problem. So what did I do back then? I sneaked into my sister's room as soon as she was gone and cleaned up her room, or we went on vacation. I asked my parents if I can organize their suitcases for them so that we have a nice and tidy hotel room. Or I actually used to scream at my husband that he is supposed to pick up everything, or I made him organize it. And as you can already think, this didn't work. So why is keeping a shared room and a common area organized so difficult? It's because individuals tend to leave their own belongings in shared rooms, like their shoes, their bags, their personal items, clothes, everything. But also there's the other side, that there are shared goods, you know, like the remote, kitchen utensils, and a lot of other things where people don't put them back where others expect them. So why is keeping a shared common room organized so difficult? And what can you do against it? The first point is standards. Every individual has different ideas of what organized and what clean means. You know, when one person says, please clean up the room, the other person does it and thinks it's clean, while the other person thinks, oh, it still looks like a mess. And I took this actually at the first point to really give you a big start in, because that's one of the biggest problems. It's communication, that we're already part of the solution. Because different people just have different understanding. What for one person is clean and organized is for the other person a total mess. So what can you do? Communicate with each other. And if this is something that you do not commonly do in your group or family, wherever you live with, install checkup systems or feedback systems where you regularly talk with each other about, is this organized? How do you feel? How do you feel in this room? And just let me say it clear, I don't say that the standard should be led by the person who's the most organized, because this is the thing, it's about a lot of people living together, and some people might feel uncomfortable in too clean surfaces, or they want some stuff lying around or handy. We come later back to this, but talk with each other about how do you feel in the room, because you live together, so you need to find compromises, and it's important that you communicate those, because most of the problems, they just are created through a pure misunderstanding. And next to the communication, also I really encourage you, lead by example. Set your standard. Pick up things, organize, put things back where they belong, even if other people don't do it. By the pure fact that you are doing it, you really motivate others to follow your example. This you can see especially with kids. Stop telling them what to do, show them what to do. When they see you clean out the dishwasher, they will also eventually start doing it, instead when you tell them to clean out the dishwasher. And also regarding the point of standards, if you see a behavior that you really want to encourage, reinforce it. Don't just always complain and say you don't do this, you don't do that, I wish you would do more of this. Call out the positive. Say thank you for putting this thing away. Thank you for doing this, and kind of really reinforce behavior that you would like to keep more in this household. Second point, habits. Some people just have different habits, which might come obvious to you, but we often forget it when we just live together. For some people, it's totally clear to put just something back where it was before. For some people, they don't even think about it. That when they take away the cream from one point, that they put it just somewhere else. They don't even think about it. They don't even mean or they don't even mean to declutter your space or whatever. They just don't think about it. They have different habits. So what you can do to create those habits is you need to implement a routine, a regular routine of designated time where everyone puts things back where they belong, aka organizing. And this can be a daily routine where you say at the end of the day or after the homework or when everyone's in bed, we pick up these things. This can be totally flexible to your family, to your co-working or co-living arrangement, whatever works for you. But create a structured routine which comes in the regularly same place. And also not just for the daily pickup organizing, but also do a regularly organizing. Say every couple of months you go through everything and see, okay, what can stay, what can go. You know, like create a routine that also you keep the house organized and not like fully decluttered. And also what helps with routines is you need to allocate time. If organizing isn't something that works on its own in your household, allocate a specific time, because otherwise you won't make time for it. You know, and it's again at the end of the day and nothing got picked up and you're mad and you're picking everything up because you feel uncomfortable in your home. Allocate time and communicate it, saying like, okay, this 15 minutes every day we are all picking things up, or this hour every week we are gonna pick things up or do this. So really, if there are not the habits in the household to keep it organized, create habits by really creating routines, daily, weekly, monthly, and really allocating time to it. The third point is create clear roles and rules. Because sometimes the lack of organization in a home or in a place just lacks from that nobody knows, am I supposed to do it? I thought someone else is supposed to do it. And what are actually the rules for keeping it? And especially if you have a shared room, that also means that the organization is a shared responsibility, which can in the end lead up to that no one's doing it. So set clear rules, say what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Because maybe there is a certain amount of clutter or things lying around, which is totally fine. When there's a creative project and there's still things which are not finished, which is fine to stay until the next weekend, or there's some toys on the ground which are totally acceptable, but there are maybe other things, like for example shoes and jackets just don't belong on the couch, you know? Set these rules and set these expectations for everyone. And then also define responsibilities. Really say, okay, who's responsible for putting away what? Because maybe there are all people thinking, oh, it's really unorganized here, but everyone thinks, oh, the other person should have done it. So really say like, who's responsible for what area, who's responsible for what category, or who's responsible for what time and what organizing. Really set the rules as responsibilities so that if the organizing is just not working, it's at least no point of that everyone thinks the other person is doing it, right? Point number 4 is create effective storage solutions. Because sometimes it's not even the willingness to organize or that people don't see that it's decluttered. Sometimes they all see it, or it's not even the point of that they think the other persons do it. Sometimes it's sheerly the point that there is no clear organization system, so people don't know where to put things. So create a clear system that every item in your household has a designated space. Install hooks, install shelves, install bins and baskets. A really huge point is use baskets just to reduce the visual clutter while putting everything in there which belongs to one category. And also, especially when you live in a household which a lot of people label them. That sometimes you have the forgettable husband or the forgettable wife, or you have even grandparents coming in who also help in the kitchen, and they also then want to organize it, that they know where to put it. Label it, that people know, okay, here comes the spoons, here comes the forks, here comes the kitchen machine. And also in your hallway, like here comes all the scarves, and this is the scarf of the little ones. And you know, with having this designated space for every item and having it labeled and having it clear, it's way easier for everyone to put things away when they actually have a space. Because you will agree that most of the time clutter comes when you look around and you actually have no idea where should I put it. So have effective storage systems in place is a huge part of keeping a common space organized. And now we're coming to the last point, and this is actually my favorite point because it has proven itself so often, so much. And my husband actually said, put it at the first one, but I put it at the last one to actually keep you till the end, a really good one. And that is, make it easy. Organizing works best if it's easy and if it's convenient. What does it mean? It means when you are always have areas in your home which are super often cluttered, or it doesn't matter how often you organize it and there are still things easily piling up again, it is a sign that whatever you have sorted in there, it's not working, it's not easy, it's not convenient. For example, in our home we had a box for all the stationaries, and this box was really high up on a shelf because we have some pens that we need all the time, but for all the other stationaries we just need them from time to time, so we put them up a shelf, especially also to keep them away from our toddler. But what happened is that always when we took the books out, we need to step on a ladder to actually reach it. And always when we were supposed to put things back, I was just too lazy to get out the ladder, step up there, put things on it, in the box, and then step out. So what I ended up, I started tossing things just on the box, on the shelf. Because I was tired, I was just trying to clean up at the end of the day, and didn't feel like these extra step of putting the ladder out and putting things back in. So this was a system which just didn't work because it took always a week or two or sometimes a month, but always this box was really decluttered again because it was just not reachable. So these are the spaces where you really have the feeling, okay, we need to implement a system that works for everyone, which is easy and accessible. And then it's just easier and it works that these places stay organized. So make sure that your organization system has an easy access, that it's easy to access it and put things back, and also that in total that the entire organizing process is simplified. Because no one loves organizing if it's a huge thing and we need to get boxes out and ladders and everything. That organizing is quick and easy reachable, so that in the end, even if this house is a full disaster, in 10 minutes we can pick the entire place up because it's easy and also the process is simplified. And one last tip on top is also make it fun. Organizing doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be strict. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be non-creative and plain. Organizing can be fun, especially when you're organizing or tidying up with your kids. Put on some music in your dedicated organizing time. Give them some ideas. Let them give some ideas how it can be more fun. Maybe if they have some storage ideas, or maybe you can get a game out of it. Make it be fun part of your family routine to create a home which actually fulfills all of you. These were the 5.5 tips, but I have one more thing that I want to say regarding this topic, and this is an advice that I give you, and depending on where you are on your organizing journey, but also your personal development journey, you can do with this tip whatever you want to. And this is a quote from my husband's favorite author, Leo Tolstoy. And he said, whenever you find a sin that you condemn in others, just look inside of you and you will find the same sin. And if you don't find it, then just look a bit deeper and you will find an even worse one. So what does it actually mean? It means if you're not happy with the organization of someone in your household, there is a really good chance that you're just not happy with your own organization. What? I can give you an example because I saw this so many times in myself. When I was screaming at my husband because the work desk wasn't organized and we couldn't even have dinner here and I forced him to organize it now, I just took a deep breath and looked around and realized actually I wasn't happy with my own organization. And that doesn't always have to be the organization within your household. Maybe there are nothing you can find lying around. But back then I was just unhappy with the way I organized my day because there were so many tasks and so many things that I had a really bad structure in, and I just felt stressed and I felt overwhelmed. And so I just saw his corner of clutter and I totally took it out on him. Or another example, when I'm super overwhelmed by all the toys from our toddler that are lying around, I actually look around and see that there are so many of my things actually mixed in that, which make me feel so overwhelmed. And the proof of this is the counterexample, because there are these days where our entire living room is filled with toys, but I am so in peace, I feel so in peace because I know that everything is fine with my organization, that I don't even bother about these toys because I know I can pick him up in 5 minutes after he's been to bed. So I gave you these 5 tips how to finally create an organized space in common spaces in your home, which was create standards and talk about them. Sometimes the problem of disorganized spaces are just a problem of communication and of different standards of what actually clean and organized means. It's habits. If there are no habits of putting things back in place, create habits, create daily, weekly, monthly routines, and really allocate time to these habits. Design clear roles and responsibilities so everyone really knows what he has to pick up in what area and when. Implement effective storage solutions, because if no one knows where things are going, no one needs a surprise if they don't end up there. And the last one, make it easy, make it fun. But besides all of that, there can still be those days where you come back home or you are home and you look around and the entire home or the entire common spaces are a mess. And there I just want to remind you with this last quote, sometimes it is worth, before taking it out on your family, just to take a look inside yourself. Is there actually anything that I can do from my part to create order, or create the space that I need, or create the structure that actually I feel like I need inside? And I hope this 5.5 and last quote help you to implement new structures and rules and communication within your peer group or family, whoever you're living with, and also to create a kind of sense of peace regarding this topic of how to keep common space organized. If you have any questions, please always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or on YouTube, write me a comment, share this video if you know someone who you once heard talking about, I'm organized, but it's the other person who's not, share it with them. And yeah, if you have any questions and any comments, feel free to reach out. I'm Laura Larsen, this is Laura Larsen Organizing, and I wish you good luck.